When you were a kid, what was the coolest thing about Star Wars? That's right, lightsabers. Blades of pure, concentrated energy that could cut through anything. They looked awesome, sounded just as cool as they looked. And we got different colors to choose from? Hallelujah! My little mind was permanently scarred, in a good way. So, why do they kind of suck now? Seriously, think about the last time a lightsaber moment in Star Wars actually gave you chills, actually made you lean forward, and made you feel something. Except for these two scenes. Forget about those. I'll get to those in a minute. For a lot of us, it's been a while. Keep watching, and I'll tell you exactly why I think the lightsaber has lost its luster. Okay, this is obviously a pretty controversial statement and can be subjective depending on who you are. But in my humble opinion, the visual effect of lightsabers simply looks worse now. From a casual fan, this might sound absolutely insane or schizophrenic, but in the modern Disney age, with advancing special effects, sometimes you can tamper too much with a good thing. I remember watching a Corridor Crew video a couple years ago where they were trying to make a realistic lightsaber fight, and they discussed their intention on making the lightsaber effect more realistic and scientifically accurate. And I have a sneaking suspicion, at least looking at the evidence that we will today, that Disney is also trying to do the same exact thing. I'm all for directors trying to really enhance the realism and style of their projects, but in some cases, it just doesn't make sense, and it honestly kind of takes away from the magic of Star Wars. We can look at two specific scenes here that illustrate what I'm talking about perfectly. Let's start out with Rey and Kylo having probably the worst lightsaber fight I've ever seen in a movie theater. It's just so unchoreographed and sloppy and unprofessional. But what really puts the cherry on top of this sundae, they're toying with the idea of the lightsaber actually getting frayed by the Force. When Kylo pushes the lightsaber away, it becomes distorted and faded. I view lightsabers as these unmalleable and super powerful tools that the Jedi and Sith use. And sure, in other lore, in games, kind of like in the Old Republic trailers, you can see cool force powers being used to stop lightsabers or to impede them, but you never change the actual visual or foundational structure of the lightsaber itself. It always remains a solid beam of light. And here, it kind of makes the lightsaber less special to me. It was something that was unbreakable and unmalleable from cinematic perspective. And while that's at least a clear and distinct choice by the director and visual effects team, the next example is almost the opposite. Luke's hallway scene in The Mandalorian Season 2 is just epic. From a scene-by-scene perspective and structure, it's perfect. The tension, the build-up, the mystique around who this character is, even though we all knew deep down in our hearts and stomachs who it was just perfect. It built up this monumental moment that, honestly, we've all been waiting for. We've all been waiting for Luke to showcase his abilities and mastery of the Force, which he does here in full display. We finally see it. The green machine, baby, it's back! And it's almost perfect. Almost. This literally nags at me anytime I view this scene. Luke's lightsaber has this really weird, inconsistent glow stick effect that looks like nothing else from any type of other Star Wars media. As he's mowing down the Dark Trooper droids, you can see where this effect is really prevalent. Anytime the lightsaber is swung in the prequel or original trilogy, there's a strong motion blur effect that looks like a super powerful beam of light. And here, it's the exact opposite. It looks like a glow stick that you're swinging at your friend's summer pool party. It just doesn't look like a lightsaber. It looks faded and weak. At least while Rey and Kylo seems like an intentional decision that I disagree with, this just seems like a blunder from the VFX department. I know that's probably not true, but in some specific instances, like this shot in the hallway, I swear it's just the movie prop. Like the collectible lightsaber that I own that lights up. I don't think they added any kind of post-processing, but this doesn't look like the actual legendary weapon that's used in the Star Wars saga. It should look like a strong, white, powerful core. And then we get to the actual hallway scene itself, and it looks weak. You can kind of see the tail fringes of the lightsaber. It should look strong. Even in the motion blur here, when I zoom in, you should be able to see all of it being white. This might be an insane take, but this really matters. It makes Luke's lightsaber look thinner, less powerful, and honestly, inconsistent with the rest of the series. If you look at Return of the Jedi, this is one of the most iconic and personal favorite shots of mine in the entire series. When Luke and Vader are dueling, as the camera slowly pans, you can feel the weight of every single blow that they're dealing to each other. And that's all taken away with this modern effect. You can also see this exact issue with the lightsabers in the Acolyte. I find this extremely interesting too when you make a contrast to Darth Vader. This is a nearly perfect lightsaber effect, which makes this all the more confusing. Is it because this is earlier in Disney's ownership of Star Wars and they just wanted to make it look consistent to the original trilogy and the prequels? It's the perfect mesh of modern CGI mixed with the classic look that we know and love of Star Wars. It brings in everything great of the modern era. Practical props that light the scene around them, not to an overwhelming effect like the Obi-Wan show. It's perfect. You feel the power of Darth Vader's lightsaber as he slashes through the rebels. Everything feels extremely powerful, coherent, and real to the lore of Star Wars. And it just looks phenomenal.
There is no escape. Don't make me destroy you.
It feels like in the modern Disney era, the lightsaber has lost its teeth. In the George Lucas era, the lightsaber felt like the most lethal weapon in all of fiction. Whether it was the original trilogy or the prequel trilogy, limbs were getting hacked off. There was always a consequence to these weapons. Anytime there was a lightsaber duel on screen, you knew shit was about to go down. These weapons were depicted to be able to cut through anything, which made them truly special because not everybody could wield them. The only people that could wield them weren't soldiers with guns or armies with bombs. They were monk-like warriors settling disputes with blades, like samurai. There was something deeply, primally cool about that, something timeless. These mythical warriors, the Jedi and the Sith, were walking around with ancient power that nobody else in the universe could understand or touch. A power that was passed down through generations and millennia of teaching. A power that chose them. The lightsaber is the physical proof and manifestation of that. There's nothing like it in the universe. Hell, there's nothing like it in film. The moment a blade is ignited, that iconic hum filling the room, everything stops. All the characters know what's about to go down. The audience freezes. You weren't just watching a random fight scene. You were watching a modern mythos take place. The physical embodiment of good versus evil playing right in front of you. And with these duels came real consequence. It's one of the first times I saw on screen a hero get injured. When Luke gets his hand cut off by Darth Vader in The Empire Strikes Back, spoiler, I feel a pit in my stomach. It makes you feel the reality of the lightsaber. It is the most dangerous thing you can wield in this universe. It's not as clumsy as a blaster, and it takes precision to nail your opponent. It's really jarring to see limbs fly off as a kid, but it's a great lesson. It makes you take this weapon seriously. In Return of the Jedi, hand cut off. Phantom Menace. A New Hope. Goodbye. Revenge of the Sith. Holy fuck, buddy. I feel like in the Disney era, they did not want to take this kind of risk. They did not want to show their heroes to face any kind of real damage or consequence. Sure, Finn gets slashed on the back, and that looks really painful. He just kind of is fine the next movie and wakes up. Holy shit, Kylo gets slashed across the face? Alright, he's pretty much healed. Like, nothing major happens. And there's no semblance of loss for the hero, especially in The Last Jedi. Rey doesn't lose a hand. There's no real pivotal injury. That's almost a trademark of the Star Wars series, is the hero reflecting upon their defeat through mortal wounds. It's a staple of the series. Anakin had it, Luke had it. It would be cool if Rey had it, but she doesn't. The most egregious offender of this cutting ability power of the lightsaber is the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. The lightsaber feels like a complete baseball bat. Let's compare these two scenes from the same series. Here we have Obi-Wan murking the hell out of these clone troopers. Absolute limbs flying everywhere. Yoda's getting in on it. It's awesome. It shows how he's slicing through them like butter. And here we have Obi-Wan doing his best Shohei Ohtani impression. And I'm not a gore guy. I don't want to see heads flying off for no reason. But I think it's really ironic when a stormtrooper gets cut in half in the same show. So I don't understand the reluctance to use it in your most iconic weapon. It just feels weird and confusing. The hilt design of the lightsaber is one of the most iconic form factors and designs of any kind of movie prop in fiction. Well, there's a couple of reasons. 1. The lightsaber feels so real because it's made of real-world components that are lived in and combined to create a tasteful, non-kitschy hilt. The hilt design is a fusion of utility and ceremony. It has a semblance of balance and ergonomics with its sleek, machine tube-like form factor, and is obviously a technology past our modern human understanding. Yet it does not necessarily feel or look high-tech. There's a relic-like quality to each one, and each user's hilt design can be very personal and unique, while retaining a technical feel at the same time. 2. The rule of cool. It's compact, portable, and the blade whooshes out in half a second. This is such a novel concept for a weapon. No further explanation needed. 3. The hilt is unique to its user, and will even tell you a little lore about them as well. Take Luke's lightsaber. It is originally Anakin's. It looks awfully similar to Darth Vader's, doesn't it? The Graflex-based handle, which is originally antique camera equipment, and the rubber grips, which were taken off of squeegees and directly glued onto the base of the hilt, they both share these distinct elements. You can notice the same resemblance between Luke's green lightsaber and Obi-Wan's hilt design. Almost like an homage to his first Jedi Master, Luke's has a very similar design and form factor, as we can see them here. Don't get me started in the prequels. This is a golden age of design for the lightsaber. It's the prime time for the Jedi. It's their heyday. Every character is on full display, and all of them are instantly recognizable and iconic. Mace Windu, Dooku, Yoda, Palpatine, Obi-Wan. Each hilt told you a little bit about the owner's personality, as well as just built upon the world building of what could actually compose this iconic hilt design. Dooku's design is one of the sickest in the series, which is heavily inspired by the classical fencing fighting style. Mace Windu's lightsaber is awesome. It has all these gold little details and looks super clean. It's straightforward, bold, just like the character it's used by. Yoda's got a cute little lightsaber. That's awesome. It's fun. Palpatine has this unexpectedly lavish lightsaber that just shows the true nature of his quest for power and feels so uniquely rich and opulent. And he backs us all up by murking the High Council of the Jedi. The only guy that could take him down was the lightsaber with a little more bling. And now in the Disney era, you just don't see many cool new hilt designs. Kylo's, admittedly, is super cool and unique, and it represents this era really well. It's supposed to be after the Jedi were myth, almost homemade and put together, and it's a really cool design. It shows Kylo's instability in his character, and it's just something that was brought to the table that was new and exciting to this era of Star Wars. But after this, nothing else is really invented. We wait until the Rise of Skywalker to even introduce a new lightsaber design, and it's just for like 2 seconds. One is Leia's, which very similar in design to Luke. You can see how Kylo's lightsaber design is inspired by his mom's as well. And then Rey's. But this all lasts for maybe 2 minutes of screen time? What is this? I mean, they look okay. Not a prop that I'd love to own. Also in this new trilogy of films, we want to build something new, something unique, something for the new generation of Star Wars. Let's just reuse Anakin and Luke's lightsaber. And it's just to draw people in and say, hey, remember this? It's Star Wars. It just feels very lazy. And the absolute worst offender is the Acolyte. What is going on here? I know there's some practical reasons for this. I think the visual effects team needed to have bigger batteries just so they could last longer on set. And so the lightsaber just wouldn't immediately go out and so they could have more durability. But these hilts are just gross. They're big, chunky. They have very little style or identity, and they almost all look like pipes that you could find lying around at Home Depot. I'm just not a huge fan of this at all. I'm not trying to tear down the design team either. I just don't think this is comparable to what we got before. There's a bar that has been set and it has not been met even halfway. Why does any of this matter? It's just a glowing sword. Who cares? Wrong! Every point feeds into the next, and it feeds into a larger problem. Lightsabers no longer feel sacred. They used to make a scene stop. Time froze. And if you were lucky enough to watch any of the Star Wars movies growing up in theaters, you felt it. The audience fully locked in. When the most iconic weapon in film, hell, even fiction, starts to feel ordinary and not special, then we have a problem. It in turn leads to the Jedi and Sith losing their mystique, their danger, their otherworldliness. Would this scene feel the same if we knew Vader's lightsaber would just bounce off the rebels? No. Lightsabers were never just weapons. They were the heartbeat of Star Wars. Fix the lightsaber, and you go a long way towards fixing Star Wars. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell to see more videos from me. Thanks for watching.